Hey, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time of the day you're listening to this episode. I have my friend here, Antonio Scarpitta. He's a filmmaker, comedian from Caracas, Venezuela. He tried stand-up for the first time when he decided to make a documentary about the process of becoming a stand-up comedian. In January of 2018, he enrolled in a 2-month class, and by the time class ended, he had booked his very first gig at the Comedy Store here in Los Angeles. He's performed all over LA as well as cities all over the country, including New York City, Maui, San Francisco, San Diego, and Palm Springs. Antonio, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate it. It's been a while since I've seen you, but always a pleasure.
Oh, sorry. I mispronounced your name. It's Eugene Levy, right?
That's pretty good, man. I can get away from that one.
Or is it Groucho Marx? Or now it's Ben Shapiro.
Luigi Mangione.
Ben Shapiro.
and I just had a Brazilian wax.
No.
Look at them now.
Let's hope it wasn't a Brazilian butt lift.
Oh, man.
Comedy. Yeah. What's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Where are you?
I'm in San Francisco, actually. I moved out here and back in the end of December.
No way.
Yeah, well, I left LA after 20-some years over there, and we have family here, and we wanted to be closer to them. We had a great opportunity showed up, and everything is working out great. I've got some remote work from my studio in LA, where I used to work as an editor, colorist, motion graphics, and I've been doing some of that and just chasing other jobs as well, you know.
I mean, that's great. And the beauty about that job is that you can work from anywhere in the world, basically, right? All you need is a laptop and an imagination.
Yes, pretty much. That's a good connection, and pretty much everything can be given to me, and I just send it out the other way too, you know. So yes,
right,
it works. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Are you in the city? Or you're in San Francisco?
Yes, I'm in Soma, Sappho Market on 2nd Street. Just a couple of blocks from the ballpark, from the Giants ballpark.
Yeah, you're right in the heart of it.
I can wait for that season to start and see what's going on. Yeah.
That's great, man. I love that place. That city is so vibrant and filled with different cultures, and the landscape is gorgeous and
amazing,
music,
man.
The food.
Yes, they have festivals here every first Thursday, and it's just a block away, and you got people from all over the world selling food and clothing and pot, whatever you want. And it's pretty good.
Wait, pots like clay pots or pot or both?
What do you call it now? What's your generation calling now?
No,
it's a weed.
I think most people say weed.
Okay. All right.
Hey, man, this isn't 1973 anymore. Yeah, man. So we're gonna backtrack. So we're gonna go back in time. You're from Venezuela, and your father's Italian, correct? And your mother's Venezuelan?
That's correct. Yes, my father moved from Italy after the war, and I landed in Venezuela with my grandfather, my Italian grandfather. Wow. And then a few years later, he met my mom there, and the rest is history. Eyebrow history.
No, that's great. What part of Italy is your family from?
They are from the south of the Amalfi Coast. Is the coast following south. It's called the Cilento Coast, and it's not as famous or as popular as the Amalfi Coast, but it's a small little town on top of a cliff, and it's a beautiful. I was just there last September meeting my family there. I have an aunt and some cousins there. I always seen him. The first time I ever met him in the actual person, you know, because I never been there before, so it was a good trip. Very emotional because I got to see where my father was born and how he grew up and stuff like that. And it was pretty amazing, man.
Dude, do you? So it sounds like to me that you're still very connected to your Italian side. Did you grow up? Did your father teach you Italian growing up? Did you learn any or?
Oh, yeah. We grew up speaking Italian, and we went to. I was born in Venezuela. Grew up in Venezuela, but we spent our first 12 years going to Italian Spanish school, and that was always in my life. People who come in on Sunday nights, all the Italians, all day cooking, and then there's the eating, and then there's the dancing, and they bring the instruments I never seen before in my life, and it was all making pizza in an oven right there. It was pretty amazing. So yeah, it was a big part of my life. Yeah.
That's great. People actually, one of the few, so I feel like I'm pretty ethnically ambiguous. A lot of people confuse me for being like maybe half Filipino. I get Jewish, and I get Italian a lot. People ask me if I'm Italian all the time. I wish I was.
You don't have the eyebrows for that kind of thing.
No, but I am pretty hairy though. Elsewhere.
That's pretty good, man. Yeah, and then I grew up. My father it's only my father and his sister, so it's only the two of them. But on my mom's family, Latino, she had 13 siblings. So it was a huge family.
Is that Catholic? Are you guys Catholic?
Yeah, well, yeah, we grew up Catholic. Yeah. I mean, Italian, Venezuela, you can't get away.
I know,
from that.
Can't get more Catholic than that. Every sperm is sacred.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I actually went to I don't know if you know this, but maybe like 3-4 years ago now, TOA, Theater of Arts, which is the school I went to, and you as well. David Connolly, our mutual friend, reached out to me. Yeah, and teacher, he reached out to me and said that there was this program called they were teaching Commedia dell'arte, which is a really old, for the listeners who don't know, it's a really old form of sort of like street performance, kind of like if you go to like Venice Beach, or if you go to like Santa Monica, there's like people performing. So like so Commedia dell'arte was an art form based on improv and based on characters, and they would mock the people in power at the time, but they were so good at it that the people in power actually loved what they were doing, but had no idea that they were making fun of them. Kind of like today, with like, you could compare it to like maybe like Saturday Night Live or, anyway, so they sent me to this school to study Commedia dell'arte in this town, in the city called Ferrara in northern Italy.
Oh, really? Who sent you there?
Well, David did, but I forget what the name of the program was, but it was like Scuola de Teatro.
But it was part of the curriculum from the Theater of Arts?
I guess so, yeah. So like David was saying that they were our sister school in Italy. And so they sent a couple of their students to study at Theater of Arts, and then they sent me to go study at their school. So it was like a trade-off of students. Mm-hmm. But I was there for a week, and man, I fell in love with Italy.
Yeah, what part of Italy did you say it was? Up north or?
Ferrara and Bologna.
Oh, yes. Wow, and that's awesome. I didn't know anything about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful town, and I remember we were studying in the school, and the students were telling me like, oh yeah, these buildings are from like the 1200s, 1300s. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, this stone that I'm touching right now is 600, 700 years old. They're like, oh yeah, nobles used to live here. I'm like, that's insane.
Exactly. When I went to visit my father, the town where my father is from is on a cliff. It's called Camerota. And back in 1,000 years ago, it was a very strategic point because it looks at the ocean. Yes. Mm-hmm. And it has a huge castle out there. It's all in ruins right now, but it was strategic because you could see anything approaching the coast from their angle, high on top. And it had a very big presence from the Roman Empire and all that. I bet. And all that happened there, So it is amazing. But you walk on those streets and those millenniums old, the cobblestone, everything, the houses, and I say, wow, this is history,
Antonio, there was this one night where this was during the pandemic. This is 2021, kind of in the height of it, and this teacher Marco. shout out to Marco. He went, Alex, me, you, and we go drink tonight. I was like, Marco, like, isn't like we're under a strict like we're not allowed to leave the premises. It's okay. You first time in my country. We go drink Americano. It's okay. You in Italy. It's okay. I'm like, okay, sure. And I swear to God, we go in this like little kind of like Fiat, classic small Italian car, and we're going through the roads, and these roads, like you're saying, are centuries old. So we're riding on the cobblestone. So I'm in the car, like bumping my head left and right because the car's going. Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But man, I could go on and on about my time there, man. I want to go back.
What an experience, man, to be. I mean, I always tell people, if you ever get a chance to live somewhere else or go abroad and visit, I mean, it's opening mind, It's amazing to do that. Yeah. Would you consider your family to be creative? Like, did you grow up with like, are they artists? Are they musicians? Like, how did you get so involved into the arts? Oh yes, my father. He's a civil engineer. That's what he did for a living. But he's an accomplished piano player. I mean, this guy can play bagpipes, accordion, anything you put in his hands, he could play. And I grew up listening to. We had a big piano at home, and he composed his own songs, and it was amazing. And he also painted. So back in the day, he had a great sense of humor. Both my parents had a great sense of humor. They always, make each other laugh and make us laugh. So that was a big part of my growing up too. An amazing Latino crazy humor combined with the European style. And it was something weird, really weird. But yeah, my father also was a very accomplished artist. He published a few books himself that he wrote. Wow. So he was a man of arts, So yeah, we grew up part of that,
Right. And so you would say that definitely shaped kind of the artistic person that you are today, with comedy, with playing music, and
exactly,
and even editing even in and of itself is a form of art.
That was another thing. My father was an accomplished filmmaker. He had those amazing 16 millimeter cameras, 8 millimeter, and every year he would go back to Italy, to his town, and record the culture around him. How to make sausages, how to make soup, how to make anything. But I'm not talking going to the market and buying the stuff. I'm talking about getting the pig in there, taking the stuff out, putting it in stuff. I mean,
right, from scratch.
And he has this amazing library of footage of all the stuff that the people in his community used to do, and he is part of the National Museum of Art and History in the province that he's from. What? And it's part of that because that stuff is gone, pretty much gone. Most of the kids don't want to do anything down there because it's a small town and they just want to go up north to Rome and Milano and all that area, So he preserved that stuff along with the dialogue. He created a book. It's like a dictionary of all the dialogues translated into Italian because every region has its own dialogue. I mean, you cannot a couple of regions next to each other. They cannot
don't understand each other. Right?
They have to speak Italian. And he created this dictionary that brought all like a Rosetta Stone that brought his dialogue into Italian. So pretty amazing. I mean, he was really in love with his culture, even though he never went back and lived there. But every year he would go back and visit his sister and record all this amazing stuff,
So what age did you guys immigrate to Venice? Or I guess you were born in Venezuela. So at what age did he immigrate to Venezuela?
I think he was 17 or something like that.
So he was young.
After the war, nothing was happening around there. So my grandfather had already left Italy and went to Venezuela. So he established a good position there. And then when the time came, he just brought him in, And then, but we lived there for about 2 years when we were about 1 year old. I have a twin brother. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I didn't.
But so we moved there. We lived there for a couple of years. I don't have memory of any of that. And then we came back to Venezuela, and that's where I grew up. Yeah.
Gotcha. And so, what brought you to the United States? Was it were you trying to seek a career in the arts? You're like, oh, United States is the place to go.
This thing about the art with me is fairly new. I mean, I love music, so I started playing the guitar from an early age. I always loved that. But the stand up and all the other stuff was fairly new. I came out here to study computer science, and I went directly to Michigan. And we left because my twin brother and I were a little bit too hectic for my parents. And they didn't see a bright future in Venezuela. We stay, so they sent us back up to Michigan, and that's where we went to school. My twin brother decided to go towards New York. He pursued sound engineering. Mm-hmm. So he also has an artistic side on that. And he's a bass player. And I decided to go to San Francisco, where I wanted to do more like motion graphics, animation, and all that stuff. And that's what I did for a few years in San Francisco. I worked on game companies, creating environments, 3D environments.
Wow.
And until 1998, that's when I moved to LA to pursue film, Yeah.
Gotcha. I actually, so Antonio, we do this game called This or That. And I'm going to ask you a series of rapid questions, and you're going to, without thinking, without hesitating, you're just going to answer. But if one of these questions reminds you of a story or something, you have something to say about it, feel free to stop, and we'll go from there. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Here we go. So speaking of Italy, would you rather have spaghetti for hair or marshmallow toes?
Spaghetti for hair.
Spaghetti for hair. Would you rather wear clown shoes all the time or a Viking helmet?
A Viking helmet.
Ooh, yeah, I'd probably choose that one. Would you rather permanently have a whisper, or would you constantly shout?
It depends on the situation, man. There's a time when you could better whisper instead of shouting, and vice versa, But
But you got to choose one, though.
Okay, whisper.
Whisper.
Yes.
Would you rather have a squeaky voice or have a spontaneous musical outburst?
A spontaneous music outburst. That was a mouthful, wasn't it?
Spontaneous musical outburst. Musical outburst. Would you rather smell like garlic or wet dog?
Definitely garlic, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're Italian.
yeah. No, I love the cooking. I love garlic for that too.
Would you rather have forks for fingers or spoons for toes?
Fork for fingers, definitely.
I feel like that'd be more useful. Would you rather never stop dancing or never stop singing?
Never stop dancing.
I'd rather never stop singing. Really? Ooh, what do you like to dance?
Oh, I grew up dancing salsa, man. We from the moment we were born, we were dancing, man. Here in America, when you're born, they drag you out, hold you midair by your feet, and
give you a gun
twice so you can cry.
Yep.
3 times if you're an ugly baby. That's part of a bit that I came up with.
That sounds like, wait, save your bit so we can see you in person.
Yep. Yeah.
Would you rather be covered in fur or in scales?
Fur.
Right. We pretty much both are anyways.
Yes.
I'm pretty hairy.
Yeah.
Okay, a few more. Would you rather clog a toilet on a first date or on a new job?
On a new job, I think.
New job. I feel like new job you could get away with it.
Yes.
Especially if there's multiple stalls, Would you rather would you rather publicize your search history or your middle school photos?
I think my middle school photos, man. I mean, they're more interesting than my search history.
Yeah, my middle school photos are way more innocent than my search history. Would you rather? I already asked you that one. Would you rather have laugh sounds like a car horn or a trumpet, or sneeze like a trumpet?
What's the first one?
Laugh sounds like a car horn. Like your laugh, but instead of a laugh, it's like a car horn.
Okay.
Or would you rather your sneeze sound like a trumpet?
I think the first one, yeah, car horn. Yeah.
I agree. Would you rather drink out of a wait, hold on. What did I write? Mayo via straw or soup style soda? What? I don't even know what that means. Would you rather have spaghetti with syrup or pancakes with marinara?
Wow, pancakes with marinara. Yeah.
I think I'd go spaghetti with syrup. It's like sweet, like a sweet savory.
Wow, I just
kind
cannot.
Of a thing.
Well, I guess as another option.
Would you rather have a cake made of ketchup or a cake made of mustard?
Wow, I'd say ketchup.
Ketchup, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. Would you rather have edible hair or sweat syrup?
Oh my God. Definitely not the hair, man.
So you'd rather sweat? Yeah, you can lick yourself. Oh, that tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough with with this or that. Thank you for playing. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to know what was when I first met you, I think I met you. Did I meet you through, was it a class that we took together, or was it just around Theater of Arts?
I was around the Theater of Arts, but I don't think we were in a class together there. I think we got a class together when we moved to Bobby Oliver. I remember
right.
We have you, and it was Berenice Diaz and Kathleen, yes. Yeah. But I always seen you around at the Theater of Arts, and I met you to that group because you supported the people there, and I pretty much was the only one that was not going to school for acting or didn't have acting experience, or I was just there trying to figure out a stand-up, and making the documentary.
Gotcha. So did you have an interest in wanting to shoot what the process was like for stand-up first, and then that sort of made you interested in stand-up? Or were you doing stand-up and you were like, oh, this would be an interesting thing to cover on a documentary on a documentary?
Great question, man. No, the thing is, David Connolly, our mutual friend and teacher, the master of laughter, I call him. We were been friends for a while. We used to play soccer, softball, work out together, hiking. Oh. And for a while, he kept on me saying, hey, you should take my class because I think you have stuff funny stuff. And I would never even imagine anything like standing up in front of a crowd, trying to tell jokes so they can laugh. I'm pretty funny guy, but it has to be spontaneous. Like I hear something and I come up with something weird, and that's how I make people laugh. But the fact that I have to stand up and write my own stuff, I would never imagine doing anything like that. But being a filmmaker, I kept thinking about the class. I said, well, I'm never not gonna be doing as a career, but I think if I come to David and I came to him and said, "He just, I have an idea. What if I take your class 2 months, 8 weeks, and I bring my crew. We film the whole thing. I make a documentary about it." And he loved the idea, so he took it up to the higher voices, and they loved the idea too. So that's how it started. And as you know, it's 8 weeks to take the class, and then you have to come out with 6 minutes of a set. Of a comedy set. So I called the documentary 8 weeks to 6 minutes. And at the end of the class, we all did all our stand up right on the stage of the theater
arena?
Arts, the arena, which is, I love that place.
I love that theater. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was by the end of the class, I was feeling very comfortable because I thought that the arena was going to be our showcase, because I've done a few, I assisted to some of them for the other classes, and I thought it was very funny, and that's the place we've been doing stand up for 2 months, and at the end he tells me, you know what, we're going to do the showcase at the Comedy Store, and you're in it. Because he usually does this for the class, and since I wasn't in the class, he included me in the showcase, and I almost died. I mean, I say, I mean, this is the first time, and I'm going to do it one of the most amazing places for comedy on earth.
Yeah, the Mecca.
I couldn't believe it. I almost said no, but I said I came all the way to this, so I'm going to see it through. So that's how I came in and got my first set at the Comedy Store, and they invited me back 9 more times. For 9 months, I was doing the Comedy Store.
What was that first show like? What do you remember? What your mind was going through? How did you feel?
God. Alex, man, I was so nervous, man. I mean, it was so tough because we're doing the homework. We've done the open mics. We practice. I always carry a fake mic with me and practice it on my hikes. And I knew I was ready. And that night I was so nervous. I was pacing up and down. And there was one comedian out there who gave me one of the best pieces of advice that I would have gotten anywhere. He said, you know you're set, right? So you shouldn't worry about that at all. What you need to worry about is calming yourself down. Just breathe. That's the kind of thing you should just think about it. Don't think about your set anymore. Just go out there, but calm yourself down. And that was, of course, I didn't do that, but he helped me later in life.
You didn't use that advice the first show?
I was so scared, man. And you know Sally Mullins, right?
Yeah.
She's one of the best hosts that you can find anywhere. Yes. And she was hosting our thing, and I was so scared. We only had, 6 minutes. And, at the Comedy Store in the original room, the red light is on the side, right? It's not like other places.
It's not right where you can see it directly. Yeah.
So you always have to look around and see if that thing is on, So I heard so much about, no, don't run the light. And one of those pickups, I took a little longer, I think, and I looked up and the thing was on. And I panicked. And in the middle of I had 2 more minutes to go. I said, well, thank you so much for calling. The red line is on. I have to go. And I put the mic in and I left.
You escorted yourself out, man. You still had a minute left.
Yes. And I left the stage by itself, which is something you should never do either. You should wait till the host comes in and they hand the mic. And I left and I panicked. And, those shows are run by Vargas Mason. Remember Vargas?
Yeah. I know Vargas.
Amazing comedian, one of the funniest people I ever met in my life. Still is, And I went to him and I apologized, Vargas, please. I'm sorry, I didn't want to run the line. And he said, calm down. You didn't run the line. You had a minute left, so don't worry about it. And that's how my first night happened to be.
Yeah, producers and hosts of the show would rather you go under than go over. So you sort of, in the long run, you did him a favor. You didn't run the line. I've had to, because as you know, like, so I actually I think I booked you on the very first comedy show I produced in my dad's backyard in
your backyard. But yes, one of the best comedy nights. And I've told you this many times. I had such a great time there, man. You did an amazing job, and the location, the part of it felt so amazing because it was just your neighbors and people. We brought some people in and stuff like that. But it was one of the best shows I ever been to, man.
Antonio, I don't know if you remember, but at that same show, my grandma comes up to me on my mom's side. She goes, Alex. I'll translate in English for those who don't understand Spanish, but she was like, Alex, ¿quién es ese hombre? I was like, oh, es mi amigo Antonio. Oh, está muy guapo. Sí, abue. Ah, mira, ¿tiene esposa? Sí, está casado. Ah! She was so upset. So I'll do the translation. So my at the show, I produced my dad's backyard. My grandma was there, and she was like, Alex, who's that man? I was like, oh, that's my friend Antonio. She goes, oh, he's handsome. I was like, yeah, he's a good looking guy. And she was like, hey, is he taken? Is he married? I was like, yeah, he's married. She was like, God damn it. So Antonio, you could have been my step grandfather.
Oh my God. Your family was amazing, man. Loved meeting your father and your grandma too, and a couple of your cousins, your sister. I love your sister. Her art is amazing too. Really love that. And then you moved it to the gallery. And that was and you asked me to host a couple of, I don't know if I did a couple of times or not.
I think you did once or twice. Yeah. You hosted the first one I had in the gallery at my sister's art show.
Yes, and that was the first time I ever hosted anything.
Really?
Yes, the first
No
time.
way.
I was nervous too.
Have you hosted since?
I done the Dove comedy a couple of times and hosted an open mic there, but actual show that was the first time I ever hosted. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. There was some comics that were telling me, and I didn't know this, that I was their first show. Like I gave them. I didn't know this, but like I've had more than a few comedians tell me like, hey, like that show that you produced in your dad's backyard was the very first show that I've ever done in LA. I was like, oh,
Awesome.
like, yeah, that's cool. It's cool that,
No, man, it was, like I said, it was one of the greatest shows. I mean, the vibe, the comics all were good. I mean, we were all, having a good moment, and it was really great. You've been doing it for a while already, producing great shows everywhere. So, respect, man.
Thanks, dude. It's been a while. I miss it because we sort of changed the format. We went from to pure stand up into a comedy variety show with my roommate. So it was a mix of stand up, sketches, and improv. And the last two shows that we did were variety shows. But I like looking back at that. My roommates are really talented improv actors, and for a long time I was studying improv and sketch, but there was a moment where I wasn't doing it for a while, so I felt very rusty. So, and I didn't really get much practice before we had those two shows. So you could tell, and I could tell in myself that I was probably like the weakest, the weakest link in it. But looking back, like, I'm taking classes again at UCB, Upright Citizen Brigade, with the improv school on Franklin. But
Yes.
and it's been helping me out a ton. It's helping me get out of my head and stop overthinking and just.
I've been getting a lot of people telling me that I never done improv, but I think that's going to be my next step. I think it's a new form, but I think it's related so closely to stand up, and I don't know what could happen there, but there might be another surprise there for me. So
I recommend it to anyone who's interested in comedy, whether you want to do stand up, sketch, improv, whatever. Like I recommend it to anyone who's trying to find their funny bone, or a way to express it more. And I feel like in the long run it helps, because I've met several stand-up comics who will take improv just to like take it and learn the process, just so they could actually help them with their stand-up sets. And because I mean, you've performed many shows where you're performing at a club and, someone gets too drunk, or, there's a game going on, something happens. And I feel like as a comic, like if you're someone that could point something out and make a quick joke about it, like,
Exactly. I think that's a very good a tool in your set to have, because a lot of the stuff happen live on stage, and you need to be able to have a reaction to something like that, and I think that can help it out, open up that part of because I am not very good at crowd work. I am very, even though sometimes I come up with something that happened on the spot and it works out, but I'm just not feel comfortable by doing that as a part of the set,
Have you? I tend to ask the actors and the stand-up comics on my show, do you have like a comedy kind of horror story, or like you went to a show and something went terribly wrong that you feel like you can share, or like you forgot your entire set, you forgot what you were gonna say, or
Well, the first story that I told you, that was my first time that I panicked, but the first time that I bombed, I think was one of the most amazing experiences too. But I was very used to having a good audience, a good set.
supporting.
Yes, exactly. But this night was a late night at the Comedy Store, one of my last times out there, and the crowd was very thin, and I didn't have anybody to support me there, and the same set that killed the month before, it was just flat, completely flat, and that was the first time that I was standing on top of a stage in front of people. not getting anything but crickets, you know. And that was, for me, was very scary. At the same time, was an amazing experience, because one of the things that comedy had taught me is to be present. You know, whatever happens in your life, be present. Take a note of things that are happening around you, because everything has a funny part for it, you know. And at that moment, I was just soaking up all that, and I say, wow, this is going to be something else for me to talk about, you know. So I think that was the first time I bombed, and now, you know, it's happened a couple of times later, but it's more of an experience, you know.
How do you recover from a bomb?
You know, it's difficult, because it's the same set you do that kills one night and kills another night. So, and doesn't kill another night. So recovering is maybe adjusting a couple of things, going out and calm yourself. Like I usually go hiking and think about the set. I record all my sets. That's one of the things I would tell everybody: record. If you can do video, audio, so you know what happens, and you hear the ups and downs. And then after that, you know, just try to adjust here and there a little bit. But other than that, is you have to trust your material, because the audiences will always change, and you never know what was going to be in front of you at that one point, you know.
Oh, absolutely, man. I was doing the same set for a little while, and and you know how supportive like some like spaces are, and then you go to a completely new space, you don't know anyone, and you do the same set. Like I did a set at this it's called the Sunset Rooftop on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. Man, like a few nights prior to that, I did a set, did great. Got laughs, you know, I flowed, I was confident what I was saying. A few nights later, I was there, I did the same exact set. And man, like these jokes were just kind of going over people's heads, and I was like, and then there was another time where I went to my buddy's open mic, and same thing. I just wasn't getting the reactions I thought it would get, and I was sweating, and it was just horrible. And I remember the show wasn't over yet, but after my set, I immediately left and went into my car and just sat down and just like, you know, I was just, you know, kind of recuperating and thinking like, oh my God, like that was horrible. My buddies called, Alex, where are you? I'm like, that's it. I'm quitting stand-up. This is not it for me. I'm not funny. I'm clearly not funny. No one was laughing. They were like, Alex, like you did all right. You didn't do as bad as you think you did.
Well, that's exactly the same reaction I had. First, after I got out of the Comedy Store, I sat on my car the same way. I said, I'm quitting comedy, because that's the first reaction you get, man. I mean, it's what we do is not easy. This stuff is something
it's
else,
hard.
man. It takes you out of the comfort zone, and then you have to do all the stuff. I mean, I think you become a better person at the end of it, because there's so many things you've done that you probably, you know, it's like a body shock. Your body is like an out of body experience. You're doing something that nobody else really actually wants to do. You know. So, but that, yeah, I mean, those reactions are pretty much common, I would say. You know.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
How on your set, because how do you prepare for your set? Is that something that you over on the open mics? Do you go on your own, or do you practice in your room? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I was telling another comedian about this, that I felt like because of my surroundings and I mean I grew up an actor, you know. I'm first and foremost I'm an actor. And so I was, and then stand up was introduced to me, you know, a little later in life. I was 24, 25. But I approached stand up as like an actor would. I approached it where, okay, I have to write this down. I have to memorize this monologue, this set. And if I don't remember it correctly, you know, like, so like, because I was approaching it that way, if something were to happen in person live, I wouldn't really know how to react to it, because I have this set memorized so, you know, perfectly. And so, you know, but I think now, because I want to get back into it. I really do miss it. And, but I need to change my mentality. I can't treat stand up as like an actor would. You know what I mean? I don't know. Does that resonate?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I always thought that acting people have an advantage over me because I never, especially being in front of people, getting up out there, memorizing the lines. This was very new to me, but I do agree. I mean, there's a script that we have to memorize, and getting out of it is pretty scary because it throws you off because you're going step by step on something, So I think that that comes with years of experience, how to deal with crowds and stuff like that, but it's very scary. I went through the same thing too, Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I mean, yeah, I would, recite it in my head, as I'm like going to the show, I'm, saying it out loud. I would have like notes, I would write sometimes my notes in my phone. But it is something I do miss and want to get back into. I actually have a series of other questions that are a little bit more personal. And it's not politics, it's not religion, it's sort of day to day. Actually, I like talking to people about their routines. Do you have a routine, like a morning routine? Do you have like a ritual? Do you?
Oh yes, completely. Does it have to be related to comedy or
no,
or
not
just,
at all. Just in your
okay.
in your day to day.
Yeah, definitely. I try to get up early in the morning because I like to go on walks. I take about 2 mile walk around wherever I live, or if it's close to a mountain, I go up on a mountain. And the earlier the better because I love seeing the sunrise and the colors change, If I can do it in the morning that early, I try to do it in the evening so I can watch the sunset. So that's one of my religions pretty much. I mean, every day I do this.
There are some, because actually you're not far from I have family who live in Marin, and there's beautiful hiking areas in that.
Oh, incredible! Yes.
Oh
incredible.
Man, yeah, the hills, and I've done those hikes before, and yeah.
But even where I live right now, I live a couple of blocks from the Embarcadero, which is the ocean right there, and that thing is about 2 miles of a place that we can walk the dog, run, all the stuff, and the water is right there. So I love taking that walk and exploring the city and exploring different venues. San Francisco is pretty small, man. You can go half an hour walking and you cross
and you're
10
at the
neighborhoods.
End.
No, exactly. Then you have different styles of neighborhood and stuff like that, different people. So it's amazing. Yeah. And I'm a very, very curious person too.
Oh, I am too. I've always been very curious as a kid. I'm always asking, questioning things, which is why I don't think the church I was going to didn't like that a whole lot.
It wasn't because of that. It's because when you hit the holy water, your skin burned.
What a world! What a world! Antonio, what's the best compliment you've ever received?
It's one of the best compliments I ever received is a guy in one of my shows that said, "You know what? The stuff your set was funny, but the stuff in between your sets was even funnier. Like my actions, my reactions to stuff, because I tell stories. I mean, my set is not one punch after another. I tell stories about my life,
stories,
but it's the stuff, see me talking with my hands. I'm always very active on stage, and he found that one of the most funniest things ever. And he looked and he said, man, it was just amazing seeing you, react to these things and waiting for the people to laugh, because that's one of the things I learned with Bobby Oliver. You have to embrace the pause. You have to let the audience really tell you they like you. But I do these things that I'm very animated, and he thought it was the funniest thing ever. Yeah.
You're like, I'm not animated. I'm just Italian.
Yeah, I didn't know, and I never noticed that because that's how I am.
That's how you grew up. No, seriously. Yeah. When I went over to Italy, I always thought this was like, that's just a stereotype. No.
Yes.
Everyone speaks like this. They all do. The toddlers, the grandmas, everyone speaks like this. Yes. I was like, I thought it was just like we were making fun of you. No. Everyone does, dude.
Yeah. And then the expression, yeah.
Would you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert?
Introvert. Yeah, that's a weird thing. I mean, I'm very private. I love to protect my privacy, and but I'm a listener. I'm more than anything a listener. I love to listen to people, sit down, and really find out who I'm speaking with. So I am very respectful of that, and I think it's how I grow pretty much. Yeah, and I love talking to older people too.
Oh man, you and I have that in common. Ever since I was little, I would have friends my age, but I was even more interested in sitting with the grown-ups and listening to what they were talking to. I've always.
Do you think that came because we're Latino families, or is it something that your parents?
I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with culture. I mean, maybe it does, but I just think that we're just both very curious people.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're both very open-minded to what the world has, to offer. And like yourself, like that's why I do what I'm doing. I love listening to people, and I love learning about people's cultures and where they grew up and why they got into what they're doing. I love listening to people, and it's a great skill to have.
Yeah, you do it very well. Congrats, man. I really enjoy, this interaction we're having. I've seen a couple of your podcasts, and really great, man. Really well done.
I know. It almost doesn't feel like an interview. But that's how I like to treat it, like we're just having a conversation. And I think that's too where maybe I was messing up, was because like in my stand up, I was so strictly confined to like what I had written that I wouldn't treat it like I was having a conversation, which is what makes your set personable. And I think eases the tension and the anxiety and the nervousness if you're just talking to people on stage how I'm talking to you.
Yeah, very good, man. I think that's very valid. Yeah.
Okay, so you said your father's a filmmaker. You got into filmmaking too. Do you have any what were some of your favorite movies growing up, or what did you like watching, or and what are you watching currently?
I love horror, man. Horror is one of the things that I always, ever since I watched The Exorcist for the first time, and I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks, and I love that. I like that genre, So, also like, sci-fi,
Sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah. When I was working on games in San Francisco, we used to build a lot of environments for sci-fi games and stuff like that. But yeah, I love the classics, man. I mean, the Godfather. I mean, all those really great classics. The Italian westerns, I love very much.
Spaghetti westerns, yep.
Yes, I love that. The smart movies, man. I like when I get out of there and I think about, wow, this is something different, But I don't like much of the romantic comedies or anything like that. But yeah, something that can definitely make me think a little bit about it.
Or are you watching anything currently? Are you watching any shows, or have you seen any movies recently?
I am watching a show called oh man, what's the name of that show? I'm so bad with names.
Is it a comedy? Is it a horror?
It's a horror thing. It's a town that lives nowhere, and we don't know if the people are dead or not. But there's some people coming at night. I think it's called. It will come to me. I'll send it to you later or something like that. But there's some demons that come out at night, and people have to get inside their houses unless you invite them in. But the point is that you don't know what's happening every episode. That gets revealed a little more.
Yeah. What are you watching it on?
It was Hulu, but then they took it out and it's got something else now. I think they put something else that I don't have, so I have to figure out how to look at the end of it. I think it's 3 seasons that I watched already 2. It's got one name. It's a one-name show. I can't remember what it is. Well, I'll send it to you so maybe you can put it in there or something like
that. Antonio, what would you do if you won the lottery right now?
I know.
How would you spend that money?
I will definitely travel. Yes, traveling would be the best thing for me. I mean, I wouldn't buy a yacht. I wouldn't, buy a house. I would just travel the world and go to places that I've never seen before, meet people everywhere. That would be the and help a lot, because if you win the lottery, I mean, that's a lot of money, man. I couldn't do much with all that stuff. Imagine winning 500. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? $500 million, man.
I'd help out my family immediately. I'd put money into my brother's college fund. You know what I mean? Like, I'd help my mom buy a house. I'd buy myself a house. I'd travel, and I think I'd invest it too, and just put maybe a majority of it in like savings.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, stuff that can grow by itself.
Yeah, stuff that can grow. Help out the communities.
Yeah, I hear stories about people that won the lotto and then 3 years later they're homeless or something like that.
Yeah,
how can you even do that? It's amazing.
I think people just like, you hear stories of like rock stars who have had like addiction like problems prior to them becoming famous, and then of course with all that fame and wealth, that helps their addiction. And then, so like you hear stories of like people who win the lottery, or even like, athletes, like a lot of athletes like go broke immediately because they just, whatever, maybe they're dealing with, addiction issues, or, this is something that they've never had before. So they're just going to splurge on stuff that they've always wanted to buy, but they think short term and not long term.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They think little picture, not big picture. Do you? Oh, if you feel fine to share, do you have any? What's your most embarrassing memory?
In my life, I think
the stand-up set at the Comedy Store.
No.
Oh, worse than
that. I once walked out of my house in my underwear, thinking I was going to work. Man, it was like I had to be there before sunrise, and it was on a Saturday. I thought it was a Monday, and I walked out of there and I didn't have underwear. So I think that was my neighbor looking at and going like that. I said, "What the hell?" And then she looked down and said, Yeah, I think it was half sleep, and I didn't want to be late. And
I've done, I've done that. I can't say I've never walked out almost naked, but I was half asleep, and I woke up, and I started putting my jeans over my pajamas, thinking I had, but it was like a Saturday morning. I didn't have work or school. But my mom hears me waking up. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I have to get ready for school. She's like, Alex, it's Saturday. Yeah. And I'm putting on my jeans over my pajamas.
That's funny, man. Yeah.
This is actually pretty embarrassing. I was doing a play, and long story short, one of our, actresses would rarely show up to rehearsal, and she didn't know her lines, she didn't know her cues, she didn't know anything. Of course, she shows up the day we're supposed to perform, and this was in the middle of June. I think the theater at the time, the AC wasn't working properly, and our scene or our story took place in the middle of winter. So we're wearing wearing winter clothing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And of course you got the lights hitting you, those hot theater lights. Yeah. And so her character, she would show up randomly in different moments in the scene when she was not needed, or her character wasn't needed. And she would just yell out these lines. We're like, and of course I have like improv experience, so I was like trying to improvise for it to make sense. And man, that was, at one point, everyone left me in the middle of stage when they were all supposed to come out. I'm like, guys, like, where the hell are you? And man, that was so embarrassing.
So with a live audience and everything right there, huh?
Yeah, the actor's nightmare. I lived it. I lived the actor's nightmare. Usually actors get that dream, and which I do too, but that happened in real time, and man, that shit is so embarrassing and nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Antonio, do you have any upcoming shows?
I do actually. I have one on the 26th in Palo Alto, California. It's an international show. This woman, Christina Pandis, she's done a few shows in LA, and it's called Planet Comedy, and she usually grabs people who are from different different countries, and then she puts it together, and and it's on the 26th on a Thursday, and that's where I'll be performing next week actually. Yeah.
Oh, great. Do you have any shows in LA soon? Anytime soon?
Not right now. I'm trying to see if I can get one in Palm Springs with this new place out there. Have you ever heard of it? I think it's called the Rock Hard or Hard Rock something.
Rock Hard. That's a different joint.
I know.
They got high security there.
Yeah. I'm trying to get something there. But other than that, I might have a show in Sacramento too, which is a couple hours, 1 hour from here north. But I don't know the dates yet. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been kind of slow because it's a new place, and you know how it is. You gotta spend time in the area, getting to know comedians.
Yeah,
and
meet
that,
people. And that's how you get invited onto more shows. And
exactly.
Yeah. Where can people find you at? Are you
yes, on Instagram I'm at Antonio the Comic.
No, I meant send me your address so people could literally find you.
Okay, send you where, right now?
No, I'm kidding. Your home address. People.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Antonio the Comic on Instagram.
Yes, and Facebook is Antonio Scarpitta. Yeah.
Okay. Where can we watch your documentary? I've seen your documentary before. Is it out anywhere still?
Yeah, still in Amazon Prime. I think you can search it by either my name or the title, which is 8 weeks to 6 minutes.
8 weeks to 6 minutes.
Yes. Last time I looked, it was, if you own Prime, it was free. I think that ended about a year or two after that. So, but it costs about $2 to rent it or something like that. Okay. But it's still there. Yeah.
How long is it again? Is it?
It's 1 hour.
It's an hour. That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching it when it first came up, when it first came out, and you told us about it, and yeah, that was really fun to watch and really fascinating. I wish more and more people could see, what comics go through, what we really go through, and what it takes to perform.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah.
Well, great, man. Hey, guys. Once again, you can find Antonio on Instagram at Antonio the Comic or on Facebook at Antonio Scarpita. How do you pronounce that in Italian? Scarpita? Scarpita. Uh-huh. That's Scarpitta. But we'll put all your information once the episode comes out, and they could find you, and it'd be actually great if we could attach. Well, I guess no, maybe that wouldn't work because it's Amazon Prime. But yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, go watch his stand-up documentary on Amazon Prime from 8 weeks to 6 minutes. You can watch it. You can watch it there, and you could follow Antonio and go watch his stand-up. He's a pretty funny dude. And if you've always wanted to take a picture to a Eugene Levy lookalike. This is your guy. You could say you've met Eugene from Schitt's Creek. Oh no! See, this is why you should follow on YouTube, because he just put on glasses that made him look even more like Eugene.
Great talking to you, Alex. Always a pleasure, man. I always enjoy being around you and seeing the stuff you're doing, and it's great. I keep you posted. If anything, maybe I can bring it up here if you want to do comedy once I'm settled and stuff like that. But let's stay in touch, man.
Yeah, man. Also, I don't know if you know that I'm a huge hiking person. I love going on hikes. So when you're in LA, let me know, and I'd love to go on a hike with you.
Yes, because you live down in LA. You're not in Downey anymore, right?
I'm in Burbank.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll let you know, because that area,
Burbank is near. Studio City has some areas, and Pasadena, Altadena has beautiful hikes. Yeah, I would love to, man. That sounds fun.
Sounds good, man.
Cool. Well, hey, man, thanks again for being on here.
Yeah, thank you again. Thank you, Robert, for your help too. And let me know what's happening next, and I'll keep following you.
Arrivederci.
Ciao.
Ciao. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you'll get notifications when new episodes drop. Thanks to my guest, Antonio Scarpitta. Music by Mark Fabian, produced and engineered by Robert Altschuler, recorded by Command Creative Studios. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kill the Small Talk Podcast and at Command Creative Studios. We'll see you next time. Bye.